So let's talk a little bit about my organization, EO Colorado, or
Mm.
Entrepreneurs Organization Colorado, which if any of my listeners are business owners in the state of Colorado, feel free to reach out to me and I'll tell you how you can join. Even if you're not a member in Colorado, we have 16,000 members worldwide, I think over 160 chapters now, something incredible like that. But feel free to reach out and I will give you a referral to the chapter in your area. That being said, you're going to come host an event, and you host events like this all over the place, like you said, with EO chapters or YPO chapters. Your event in Colorado is going to be on September 7th out in the Black Mountain, or I'm sorry, Black
Black
Mountains, right?
Forest. Yeah.
Black Forest, sorry, the Black Forest, just north of Colorado Springs at the La Forêt Retreat Center. So tell me, what is that conference called, and what could people that go? And this is a 2 day conference, and there is overnight lodging available. What can people, business owners, expect to learn in that conference?
Well, the title of it is Tools for Growing Your Business, or more specifically, More Tools for Growing Your Business, because I've been with the EO Colorado folks a couple of times in the past. And so what I try and do in these workshops is deliver tools and frameworks that help entrepreneurs think about the very predictable challenges that they're going to face as they try and grow their businesses. And let's face it, growing your business is the central issue that's front of mind for virtually every entrepreneur. How do I grow this thing faster? How do I grow it more successfully? So we're going to deliver some tools and frameworks to do that, just that. There's a session on managing cash because if how to grow is number one, cash is number 1A, right? Everybody wants to know how can I find cash, and I'm going to teach people how to find hidden cash that's in their business that they don't know is there, and give them some tools for figuring out how fast they can afford to grow with the cash, with the working capital structure of their business without having to go to a bank or an external investor for cash. So we're going to do a session on that. We're going to do a session on what I call hustle. There's a classic HBR article by a guy named Amar Bidet that talks about hustle as a source of competitive advantage. And we're going to explore that idea and figure out how EOers can put that idea to work in their businesses. And we're going to do a session on building teams and making sure you have the right kind of team to grow. And we're going to do that with a case study on a startup. That was a nail. It was kind of like an open table for salons and spas. And we're going to do a case study on that business and talk about the team that built that business, and were there any gaps in that team, and how do you think through whether your team is the right team or is there a gap, and how do you fill that gap. So in each of those three areas, we're going to deliver some specific tools and ways of thinking about those key challenges: people, cash, and hustle. How you get customers and competitive advantage.
Yeah, and this isn't just a rundown of best practices or top 5 lists of conventional wisdom. Again, like you said, this is case study learning. So it's not only applicable to beginners who are just or newer entrepreneurs who are just kind of wrapping their heads around these concepts, but it's very applicable to a seasoned entrepreneur who's going to find themselves in that same point in a life cycle as some of these folks that you'll be talking to us about in the case studies, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, every year at London Business School, we run a program, as you know, Travis, for EO Global. I think we had 77 EOers in the room in May last year, and we'll do the same thing again next May. And these are tools that most EOers didn't go to business school. Um, and even if they went to business school, most business schools don't really focus much on entrepreneurship. They're focusing more on big companies. So these are tools that come out of the lessons that can be learned from the ringside seat I've had over these last 20 some years, I and my colleagues. So the LDS program, I lead, but I don't deliver it all. We bring a group of faculty into the classroom to deliver it. But these are things that you can go back and literally on Monday put to use in your
Yeah.
business.
And that's what I like about your learning and your workshops is it's not somebody talking up there with a list of best practices saying, I know this
Nope.
because somebody else told me, or I know this because I read it in the journal. It's your 20 years of work and research where you're actually coming to us with new ideas based on things you have discovered from people you have actually studied.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
which is much different than just giving advice from things you have read.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's great fun for me and for those in the room.